Ferrari had a very productive pre-season test session in Bahrain, showing competitive performance in various aspects, from low-fuel qualifying simulations to long-distance race simulations. Lewis Hamilton seemed very pleased with the SF25's performance, while Charles Leclerc also got used to his new car. With these results, the big question is, can Ferrari beat other teams in the fight for the world title? And who will be their main rivals? Let's discuss it in detail. Since the beginning of the pre-season testing in Bahrain, Ferrari has been one of the teams that has received the most attention. The team from Maranello came with high expectations after making significant developments to their car, the SF25. They did not disappoint, especially on the third day of testing, where their two drivers, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, recorded quite competitive times. Leclerc was 9th on the list of best times, while Hamilton was 6th. However, it is important to remember that pre-season testing is not just about the fastest lap times. F1 teams are more focused on evaluating the car's performance in various scenarios, including component durability, aerodynamic efficiency, and long-distance race simulations. Ferrari themselves seem to be using this session to better understand how their car adapts to the different track conditions and temperatures in Bahrain. Leclerc put in an impressive performance in the morning session, setting the fastest time of 1 foot 30.81 inches. His time was only slightly better than young driver Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who was half a tenth of a second behind. Despite being the fastest driver in the session, Leclerc preferred to focus on the endurance simulation. In this simulation, Ferrari showed promising improvements, but they also faced an unexpected challenge, namely higher than expected tire degradation on the third day. This is an important note for the team to find a solution before the start of the season. On the other hand, Hamilton also showed a performance in this pre-season test session that should be taken into account in his debut with Ferrari. The 7-time world champion adapted quickly to the SF25 and was able to record the 6th best time of 1 minute and 30.345 seconds. However, like Leclerc, he also noticed a significant deterioration of the tires. Nevertheless, Hamilton remains optimistic about Ferrari's performance. He admitted that he was getting more comfortable with the car as the laps went on. Hamilton also added that he enjoyed the experience of driving the SF25, which has different characteristics to the car he usually uses at Mercedes. As more data is collected, he hopes to gain a better understanding of the car and help the team optimize its performance before the start of the season. Overall, Ferrari showed positive signs in this pre-season test, although there are still some aspects that need to be improved, especially in terms of tire management. With time remaining before the first race of the season, the team will try to perfect its aerodynamic package and strategy to be more competitive when the official race starts. One of the big questions that emerged from the pre-season test was whether Ferrari was deliberately hiding its potential for the first race in Australia. Although reports from the drivers were very positive regarding the balance and performance of the car, their time on track was not too impressive compared to their main rivals, especially McLaren and Red Bull. This has led to speculation among F1 pundits and fans. Is Ferrari simply not reaching its full potential, or are they facing some sort of problem? There are several factors that could explain why Ferrari has been slower in pre-season testing. One is the higher fuel load. Teams often run race simulations with a full tank of fuel to understand tire degradation and optimal pit stop strategy, so their lap times may not reflect the true pace in qualifying. In addition, Ferrari may run a different testing program than other teams, such as one focused on reliability, aerodynamics, or long-term tire strategy. On the second day of testing, Ferrari's race pace was noticeably slower than McLaren's, indicating a significant improvement in their car's performance. However, this does not necessarily mean that Ferrari will be left behind when the real race begins. History shows that top teams often hide their true pace in pre-season testing in order to keep their strategies hidden from their rivals. It could be that Ferrari is gathering as much data as possible before they really show their strength in the first race of the season. In addition, Ferrari's drivers have shown a better understanding of the limitations of their SF25 car. With the right settings and a mature strategy, they should be able to get maximum performance when the real race begins. If Ferrari do have potential, then we could see a big improvement when they finally step on the gas in Melbourne. On the other hand, if their performance remains below expectations, it could be a sign that Ferrari still has a lot of work to do to compete with other teams for the title this season. The arrival of Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari adds a new dimension to the team's dynamic. As a driver with 7 world titles, he brings a wealth of experience that will be invaluable to the Maranello-based team. His presence is expected to help Ferrari return to winning ways and compete more consistently at the top of the standings. However, despite his many flying hours, Hamilton admitted that he is still in the adjustment phase with his new car, the SF25. "I still feel like there are a lot of things to explore with this car. Fortunately, I can compare it to the 2023 car and see where the differences are. We have made a lot of progress, but there is still an adjustment process to be done," said Hamilton in an interview session. Hamilton feels that every car has its own unique characteristics, and the SF25 is no exception. Although he feels quite comfortable, there are still many technical aspects to learn, especially in terms of race settings and strategies. The differences from the previous car, both in terms of aerodynamics and power systems, require him to work more closely with the Ferrari technical team to find the optimum settings. However, Ferrari's journey in pre-season testing has not been entirely smooth. On the third day of testing, the team encountered significant obstacles that hampered their plans. Initially, Ferrari had planned to run a full race simulation with Hamilton to gather more data on the car's performance in race conditions. Unfortunately, this plan had to be scrapped due to severe tire degradation. Hamilton pitted several times to try and fix the problem, but the repairs he made were not satisfactory. As a result, he had to spend some time in the garage while the team tried to find the best solution. On the other hand, Charles Leclerc seemed to get more time on track than his teammate. This led to speculation that Ferrari might give Leclerc priority at this test. So far, however, there has been no official indication that the team has a policy that favors one of its drivers. Ferrari themselves have stressed that they are still trying to give both drivers an equal opportunity to understand the car and find the best settings before the start of the season. Going forward, the relationship between Hamilton and Leclerc will be a crucial factor in Ferrari's battle this season. Although both have different racing styles and experience, they must be able to support each other and share information for the team's progress. If they can work well together, it is not out of the question that Ferrari can once again become a major contender for the World Championship. Currently, Ferrari has one main goal: to win the Constructors' Championship. Their closest rivals are McLaren, who have a strong duo in Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. While Piastri is still struggling to adapt to the car, this is an issue that will likely be resolved as the season progresses. Red Bull, on the other hand, will face a new challenge with the arrival of a younger and less experienced teammate for Max Verstappen from the 2025 season. Meanwhile, Mercedes may still be able to spring a surprise, but they are not yet strong enough to challenge Ferrari for the title. Ferrari's success will depend on the harmony between Leclerc and Hamilton. Leclerc admits that their driving styles are very similar, especially in the way they attack corners. This could be a big advantage for the team, as both drivers will provide similar feedback to the engineers, allowing for more targeted car development. "I was surprised by Hamilton's driving style. We are very similar in the way we push the car, especially when entering the corners. This is positive because we want the same things from the car and can work in the same direction to develop it," said Leclerc. With positive pre-season test results, Ferrari looks to be one of the strongest contenders for the 2025 season. However, the big question remains: can Hamilton and Leclerc fully adapt to the car quickly enough to push the team to the top of the standings? If not, which team will come out on top? What do you think? Will Ferrari dominate this season, or will there be a surprise from another team? Let us know in the comments.